Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. This is Naeem Mushtaq here, and today my guest is brother and very my honorable and dear friend, brother NEVILLE GAUNT, if I pronounce his name properly. And this is a part of series which I have designed, Coffee with Friends. And this is just a friendly discussion. This is not a typical interview where, I will be asking questions. We will be sharing knowledge with one another, and we will be trying to explore a topic. And this is all the interview is all about. And the reason he's here with me today, rather, it's my privilege and honor to be with him today, is because of his book. Everything you should have learned at school but did not. And this is the, I would say, the cover. I just got it printed. And this is the first hard copy I have, I must say. I got
Fantastic.
I got the PDF to bind in form of a book. So this is a very nice, there's a lot of graphs. Maybe I can see, let's see if I can see a graph. Yeah, there are many graphs in it. Beautiful. So this is a very beautiful book, and I added it matte laminated cover, and with 80-gram fine paper. So this is, I would say, I am the first one to have a hard copy prepared by my own. Yeah,
join the club.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. So this is the graphs inside. I'm sure the original one will have color pages, because this is just
Yes.
the PDF. So lovely. This is going to be more lovely, the original one. And he's the chairman of YP2G. What is YP2G?
Well, great question. Actually, I, as we know, there's lots of COVID passports going on currently.
Yeah.
The P in YP2G is about a passport, but it wasn't. This was created long before COVID, and we run programs for young people called Your Passport to Grow.
Lovely.
So it's all about leadership, as you know, Naeem. Everything that should have been said before has already been said.
Exactly.
It's just a question of applying the context. So the book, Everything You Should Have Learned at School But Didn't, is really just an adjunct. It's an addition to the programs we do in Your Passport to Grow. But this is trying to reach a much, much bigger audience. And as you well know, if anyone's listening, this book is free. So we're making it free to download. As you can see, you've downloaded it and got someone to print it for you. So if you want to get the printed book yourself, please feel free to go ahead. We really want to share not just the knowledge, but the experience of all these wonderful people, including you, my friend, because you're in the book too.
Yes, I'm in chapter.
And you have a fantastic chapter in the book, as we have lots of other people. Because as you see on the back of your book, you've got pictures of everyone that contributed. Some of these are well known. In Pakistan, in particular, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Cameron Rizvi in the leadership space. And you maybe have heard of Hira Ali, because she is pretty forward in the leadership arena for women. She's a very, very forthright individual, young lady, that pushes the women issues forward every time. And she's a very good friend of mine too. And I think what people probably need to know is that we've gone on this particular book, we're just scratching the surface. We're not really going deep here, but we're just scratching the surface with a lot of well-known people like yourself, who's got a huge audience in a particular field, in a particular context. And again, like yourself, we've all been through struggles in our life.
Exactly.
And there wasn't a book that we could read that could help us through the struggle. Exactly. But now there is. That's the whole purpose of this, because we all go through lots of different things.
Exactly. And for my viewers, I would just like to, this is only 124 pages, small booklet with small font size. And on the content page, there are 25 chapters. So it's like, to me, it's an encyclopedia of 25 motivational real life stories, where you can find your own life through the life of reading the biographies of other people. So this is not just a simple book. This is basically a summary of, I would say, the lengthy experiences, pain and sorrows and pleasures. Everything is put in this book. So I think there used to be a book by Dale Carnegie's.
Yeah.
Biographies of famous people. I think this is the updated version for this era, for our especially youth, to go through the biographies of ordinary peoples who became extraordinary through the different pain and pleasure experiences. And I think you have done this wonderful job, and I must congratulate you and everyone else who became a part of it. Like myself, I became known after this book. I'm like, people know me, but not know me in this sense that they know me now, because they know the hidden parts of my life that I explained and shared for the guidance of youth. Because when we were young, I miss today that I may have someone to guide me at that time, and I could have saved a lot of my time, energy, and to be on a better path today. But wherever I'm today, it is because of my divine assistance and all those things. Another thing is most of the motivational stories are secular stories, mostly. And here I find most of the stories, rather I would say all of the stories, are linked with religion and spirituality. When they are lost, they're connected more strongly to God and divine realities. Tell me, how do you find this missing links in today motivational literature, where they are focusing on secular sciences but not linking those sciences with the divine connections?
Yeah, but Naeem, you couldn't have put it better, frankly, because the interesting thing is, I mean, I'm a very spiritual person. We have different religions, but indeed, our religions are just connected. You're a Muslim and I'm a Christian, so big deal. We come from almost the same species, the same thoughts, the same concepts.
Yeah.
And this particular time of year, as you know, it's Christmas. Or Christ Mass. And I think that's where we could start today, actually, having done a little preamble. But firstly, I want to acknowledge and thank you for a very heartfelt contribution from your chapter. And the thing is, I insisted that everybody gave their own struggle, their own thoughts, their own background, because that makes it real.
Yes.
Unlike many inspirational preachers that are out there, most people are representing someone else's journey.
Exactly.
And and it's not that isn't important. It is important, but it's your journey that's important, because it's your context. And I see equally, you're incredibly well read with a bookcase like that, and you're running out of space because you're putting books on top of each other.
Yes.
And the other thing I want to do before we get into a chat is I want to compliment you on printing the book A4, because I actually believe that this is probably going to turn into a handbook.
Exactly.
So people can, once we do start to print the book, and again, what we're trying to do is make this accessible to everyone, every young person in Pakistan. So I'm actively looking for sponsors to help us print the book and distribute them into the more difficult regions in Pakistan, because it's a country of 220 million people, only 3 big cities. Everyone else lives quite a long way away remotely. So that's our aim. It's to galvanize those young people In the first instance in Pakistan, and then we'll go further into the Muslim world. So,
lovely.
Because we've got some fantastic teachers in this book.
Exactly. And another thing I liked in the book is your pull quotes, the summary. This format of organizing the contents is very useful and very advanced format. Maybe I would suggest here, to have a maximum impact, to translate this book into Urdu and then Arabic.
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Where I'm looking at currently, and we're doing this philanthropically. I need to tell everyone that no one was paid for their contribution.
Exactly.
It was all given freely. I edited it and put those format pieces in. So I tried to make the book interesting to read, and pull out salient points so people can go, oh, I can remember that one because it was in blue, or it was slightly highlighted. And again, all of the pullouts aren't necessarily from well-known people. They're actually from the authors of each chapter themselves.
Exactly. This is,
and I think that's important, because we really do see the true leader that's coming through here.
Exactly. And maybe after marketing this book, maybe next year we can request the authors to submit their same story in Urdu language, and the only hard work will be is to put it in form of a book and get it published. And I think
absolutely.
And then
that's definitely, we got so many things in the pipeline to do here. And as you well know, we haven't really formally launched the book yet. Exactly. So this is part of a specific launch with your good self. But let's look at the religious arena here, because if we just look at the title of the book, everything you should have learned at school but didn't. So there are certain things in here that the teachers were saying, but you weren't listening. I wasn't listening.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, my motivation for putting this book together really does come from my religious background. When I started to go to church and Sunday school, I became a Cub Scout in the same church, and all of in many respects, every single chapter in here reflects more of my upbringing in the church.
Okay, lovely.
So within the Muslim community, you go to church every Friday, and the imam will, read and bring you into the discussion, and you all pray, and then everyone goes away. But who's really listening? Just like me going to church on a Sunday, and the preacher starts to preach, or a Catholic going to church and the priest starts to preach. Who's listening? And I think that's the key for me here, because I don't think we're saying anything new in the book.
Exactly.
We're just showing the individual's context. Does that sort of make sense? I mean, it made sense to me.
What I would say, excuse me, like the teaching of Jesus Christ in 4 Gospels and the teaching of Islam in Quran and Sunnah are being displayed in this books through stories. Whatever.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, because it is. It's the parables, the miracles, the parables, the Good Samaritan, which is common to both religions.
Exactly. And if you go through the book of Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, and there is a parable that on the day of judgment, a man will be brought in front of the God, and the God will say, I was hungry and you did not give me something to eat.
Yeah.
And he said, how it is possible you are God? He said, a neighbor of yours was hungry. If you have fed him, it is like feeding me. Next question is, I was thirsty. You did not give something to. And the third question is, I was sick and you did not come to, meet me. The man will say, how this is possible? The God say, a man besides you, your neighbor, your community member, your member in the family or your member in the friendship circle, they were going through pain and suffering. If you have shared your energy and time with them to reduce their pain and suffering, it is like assisting me, the God himself. So that is the same philosophy available in Islam, in the in one of the hadith of Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I think this book of yours, if we say that this is the practical demonstration of this parable of Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, how people went through different forms of experiences of pain, and they found God through this, process of going through pain. So sometimes we are all hearing, but listening is depending on how well we are connected with the divine, because listening is a gift, is not something that you are born with. So when you go through different difficult process of life, even you are sitting in the church, but there are only few people who are sitting with Christ, and some people are sitting without Christ. But
you're absolutely. It sounds silly, but you're in the church. But you're absolutely right, and that's the piece of the. Yeah, and as you say, there is so many. There's so many stories that go from the Quran to the Bible and vice versa. In essence, we are connected.
There's a very good movie like "What Would Jesus Do?" American movie. That if Jesus is here, what would he do? Just like what we have done with the experience and conscious, and with the connections within us with the divine. So it in a form of this is a story, but behind the story there's another story which only people with mind and heart can read it in between the lines. So this is a book, and there's a book within the book. This is how
you're absolutely right. It is a book within the book, and what I want to do is just correct you with one thing you said.
Yes,
it's not a big thing. Okay, it's not my book; it's our book.
Exactly, you're right. Okay. You're right. This is our book. That's why
this is our book.
And this is not the book of writers. This is the book of a person who is reading it. So he's actually looking at his own life through our experiences. And he's trying to get guidance that what we did with our experiences, same can be done with his experiences. So there are visible writers and there are invisible writers. No one is a reader in this book.
And the other nice thing about it being a book is that you can go at your own pace. You don't have to rush this. Exactly. It's a bit like people watching this video. If they haven't quite got what we've recorded, they can stop it and go back a little bit and pick it up again. And that's what we need to encourage. There are 20, 25, 26 chapters, but there's also 2 appendices.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
And those are appendices that everyone would expect to know about if you're looking for a job. And we know at the moment, lots of people are looking for a job. Exactly. So again, this is just, simple advice.
This is like from what is CV and interview skills.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're so important, really. And I think the interesting thing is, and this is where we can shock people in some respects. There are 27 people that have been involved with this book, including the designer, Mohammed Ali Tariq, who helped me design the book and the format. So there are 27 people. If you think the average age of those people is 40 years old, approximately, there's over 1,000 years worth of experience gone into this book.
Exactly. I'm 25 now, excluding night.
Yeah, if you're 25, I'm 42. How's that? I'm a little bit older than 42, but it is. I mean, the key thing here is for all of your listeners to recognize, in many respects, we're opening up the Quran to them so they understand what listening is really all about.
Exactly.
And how you speak to your God.
Exactly.
And remember, God is omnipresent.
Exactly.
Everywhere.
Yes.
But it's people that do his work.
Exactly.
And that's why this book, again, I hope, will start to make a difference to everybody.
Lovely, lovely. And whose idea was this? How this idea came into mind, and this was developed?
I've had this in mind for probably 10 years, but never had the courage to do it, because like anything else, if you write a book, you've only got yourself and your publisher, and maybe your editor. Exactly. But when you write a book which is very diverse from the number of people we've got in here, and we're trying to accommodate everybody,
yes,
because people come from all sorts of creeds, and equally I wanted to get a balanced male female. I wanted to have as a 50-50. I didn't quite manage that, I'm afraid. I got close. I think it's sort of 46-54, which isn't bad for a first attempt. But it was literally and the other thing is, it was to make it not an academic book. It's what I didn't want it to be. You should do this and you should do that. It was like best practice is, and this is how I've done it.
Yes.
So everyone within your chapter, you tell your life story,
yes,
and put a very close relationship with your mother. I mean, and believe you me, when I read it, I cried, because I had the same relationship with my mother. I mean, she died nearly 12 years ago now. I miss her every day, but I know she's always there. So it's
both are in a better place now.
Oh, absolutely. They're out of pain.
Yes.
Fortunately, they haven't had to go through this COVID arena that we've had to struggle through. And again, COVID has made life difficult for so many people. And we haven't seen the end of it.
Yes.
Over here in the UK, they're talking about another potential lockdown.
Oh, okay.
And it not just do a few things, but a lockdown. So it looks like, and it might be in the next 2 or 3 days before Christmas, which will be
very difficult.
Disastrous.
Disaster. People are more close to God due to lockdown, not due to COVID.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Because they have to spend time with themselves now. They have to realize a lot of blessings they have in the house or surrounding them. They never looked at it. Life were very busy. We were busy in so many things that have actually no value in life. But after lockdown, even in Pakistan, then when there was no one on the road and nothing like in the market, so then I realized the life is built up and connected with people, with one another. It is not like the business, it is not the money.
You're absolutely right. And I think when we were originally locked down, people realized that I don't like talking about a work-life balance, because to me that doesn't exist. But to so many people it does. Yeah. And they realized that they were far too involved at work.
Exactly.
And they weren't getting on with life.
Exactly.
Now, that could be a feature of their age or their circumstances, but it really did bring it home to lots of people that, you know what? I need to phone my friends. I need to phone my parents more.
Exactly.
I definitely can't see them now, but I can definitely phone them and just say, hi, Mom, hi, Dad, how are you feeling today? And just be a human being again, because I think we globally, I think we've lost the human part of being human.
Exactly. So lockdown was a blessing for older people who were looking at us so that we could give them some attention. So lockdown was blessing for them. But anyway, this is a part of life. Yeah, this is a part of life. But thank you very much for the book, giving us the book, or making it as a part of our life. This is like a souvenir. I can give it to my children and they can give it to their children. Look, their father was like that, their grandfather was like that, things like that. So this is like how should I say it? This is like putting your life's best moments in writing, and giving your children a gift of you itself, instead of they look to someone else for their guidance and motivation. Why not get the same thing from you yourself? So you're giving a part of you after you're gone in form of this book. And I'm sure in the upcoming editions, more edition will be done, and more, this will be translated into Urdu language also. So the Urdu speaking community can read also the real life stories from Pakistan, within Pakistan. And thank you so much. And
no, thank you. It's been a joy to have this discussion at long last. And as I say, your particular arena, I think this is very spiritual. And as we do know, we do learn from listening to others.
Exactly.
I mean, in the preface of the book, I like to call it the why.
Yes.
Why this book has been written.
Yes.
I actually say how you read this book is just imagine that you're with a favorite uncle or an aunt who's just giving you a story.
Bedtime
and as they're giving you a story, bedtime story maybe, and as they're giving you a story, it's real life. This is what happened to them. And what they're doing is they're just sharing that experience with you for two reasons. Firstly, to make you aware that these experiences are out there, and equally to let you learn from that experience so you don't have the struggles that they had.
Lovely. And while you are speaking, I'm just loud thinking, why not produce a audio version with the background music?
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely got to be done. And wouldn't it be great if we got everyone that contributed to the book to read their own chapter?
Yeah, maybe some parts, because some people may not be so professional in pronouncing.
No, I understand.
I want this audio book to be sort of a imaginative work, artwork.
Yes.
With the background music, with the, and it's like listening a story while you're traveling or sleeping or whatever. Sometime me, when I'm in a stress situation, I play those raining videos.
Yes.
So the sound of rain itself is a, beautiful sound, the sound of a sea and, beach and all those things. So a lot of things could be done with the book. But anyway, we will come back again.
Oh, a huge amount.
Let's come back again with some other authors. Maybe we'll plan this one, and we'll have more discussion with each and every author, maybe. And
good idea.
This is just an idea. We can work on it later.
Yep.
But today's purpose is to know more about the book and the background of the book. And I'm sure whoever is going to read, the good news is this is for free. Otherwise, you will be paying $20 to $30 for this book. And if this is art book, availability is another question, but availability is there. You can get it, download it, and then you can download it for free. So this encyclopedia of real life motivational stories is completely free of charge. That is a good part of it. And still, if we don't read it, then you will be missing a lot in life.
That's the interesting, Naeem. The first thing is, if it's free, it can't be of any value.
Yeah.
And immediately, if anyone listens to this discussion, I'm sure they'll realize that it's of immense value. It's life-changing in many respects.
But still, we don't mind it if they send us some money.
No, we don't mind at all, And as I say, I'll be reaching out to the larger organizations out there that really want to have a corporate social responsibility
exactly.
And we can print 100 books, 200 but 1,000 books, but we make sure it's distributed to the right arena. And maybe just like you have a library there, maybe we just make sure that at least there's one copy in every school.
Exactly.
So that we can actually do a road trip and go and speak to that school and say, hello, I'm one of the authors and the book's in your library, go and read it,
And maybe what I would suggest is some of the authors are very influential in this book. Maybe they can contact the Imran Khan, also the federal government or the Punjab government to get it published and for the school libraries. And that can be done. And when you have a official launch, I would suggest to contact the government officials to come forward and then look at the book and be a part of basically, I think this is a movement, not a book.
You're right. It is a movement,
Yeah,
and it's a movement which will be at the grass level.
exactly. So this is a
Because every
manifesto.
parent that's got a 2 or 3 year old child
Exactly,
needs to read the book.
exactly.
Every 15, 16, 17-year-old needs to read the book. Every young professional that's either got a job or about to go into work life needs to read the book. There will be, I think, at the last count, there are almost 1,000 golden nuggets in this book.
Yes, exactly.
Any one of those will change your life.
Exactly, exactly. This
because
is
they're real.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And that's the beautiful thing of it. So I just have to say and reach out to all of our contributors. Thank you so much for trusting me, for giving me your trust, and to you in particular, Dr. Naeem, because I know it's difficult to put your heart on your sleeve. But at the end of the day, in a public arena, people will ask you a question and they'll know who you are.
Exactly.
So the nice thing about this is it's showing people are bare at the beginning, it's showing their frailties, but it's showing that they came out the other side, which I think is far more important.
And I would also suggest all the contributors to circulate book in their area of influence and get written feedbacks, which can be added in the books in the later stages by giving it to
absolutely. I've actually got a written feedback from the Institute of Business Management from the president.
Okay, lovely.
Dr. Tarim, who's very complimentary, even to the point of saying he's going to have a discussion in the lower levels of education, in the formative years, because he can see that this will have a big impact. Yes. If teachers read it, an 8 and 9 year old might find this book very challenging. But their parents and teachers won't.
Exactly. That's what I said. Most of the teachers, maybe there is a level of teachers who can read English, but once it is converted into Urdu language, it can go everywhere in Pakistan, the grassroots level.
Just so you know, on that score, before we finish, I'm actually in discussions with one of the book chapter contributors for her school of students to translate it into Urdu. Because this is not a literary masterpiece. There are, spelling errors and there are grammatical errors. I was more interested in getting the meaning over. So it's not a grammatical and literacy masterpiece. This is meant to make a difference. And sometimes
I think this is the beauty, because it is written in an ordinary manner by ordinary people who became heroes in their own life.
Exactly.
And grammatical error is a part of plan.
Well, believe you me, I've had manuscripts back to me where capital letters were just not there. So that's giving a few secrets away. But it's been a pleasure discussing it with you. Again, we're just scratching the surface here. We can have more fun. And if anyone's listening that wants to contribute to a future book, please contact Dr. Naeem or myself, because there'll always be space.
Exactly.
There'll always be space.
Thank you very much, Brother Neville. And it's a pleasure talking to you. You look also, mashallah, very beautiful and sexy at this age.
Thank you.
And keep it up.
Well, people responding about the book is keeping it up, actually. It keeps me young. When I have these, discussions that helps the heart pound properly, then retirement is long in the distance.
But there's a satisfaction that what you wanted to achieve in life, this is one of the gift you are giving it to the next generation, and that's what you wrote it here. Let me see. Dedicate this book to all the children in the world. We owe them the best future. So this is the best, dedication I've ever read. So this is a book by everyone. So thank you very much. And I'm sure our viewers, our listeners, they are learning something. They are going to download more books, and they are going to be a part of this movement. And let's plan after we discuss to bring more authors and have, panel discussion with the author, you and me discussing with the author, and each and every stories, and maybe we can create a short series of videos with each and every author.
Absolutely, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, lovely.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So thank you very much, and I look forward to see you again.
Thank you, Naeem.
Thank you.